So Nick Shirley went on PBD podcast yesterday. And I think it's the first interview that he's given through since all of this went down. And this is what Nick Shirley had to say about the fraud. Take a look.
So Ilhan Omar, nobody from the camp has reached out to you at all.
No.
Have you gotten any threats, like actual death threats?
Yeah, well, in person and also.
Can you tell me about that? Like, are they messaging you saying we're gonna get you? What are they saying to you?
Yeah, like they're saying, oh, like, kirked. You're gonna be kirked.
You're gonna be kirked. That's what they're saying to you.
Yeah, like you're the next. You'll be the next Kirk. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Because it's not even like I hate what's happening right now. Like, I feel bad for my family, honestly, because it's like, yeah, like we didn't do anything wrong, and yet you guys are coming after me like I'm some sort of villain, right? So I'm like, my little sister's getting phone calls. I'm like, why are you guys doing this?
Your little sister's getting phone calls.
Yeah, from like the news. I'm like, okay, don't talk to my family. I mean, some news in India, they doxed my home. They doxed my dad. They doxed my.
And they need to be careful because Nick Shirley's family is from Farmington, Utah, which I think is just like 20 minutes north of Salt Lake. The Somalian gangs run deep in Salt Lake. I used to live in Salt Lake. A Somalian I was telling you, Carmen, last time, a Somalian murdered one of my homeboys in like 2016 in Salt Lake because their gangs like run real deep out there. So he really needs to be careful. That's for real.
They it was really weird. I haven't even told my dad about that because I just don't want to even bother him about it.
Well, Dad, you know now.
But like they put it, like it's just like, are you guys kidding me? Like, why are you guys coming after somebody for going against fraud? Like, I didn't make this a right or left issue. I just showed you guys that fraud was happening, and now you guys are coming after me. You're saying I'll be the next Kirk. You're literally stopping at intersections and coming after me and trying to attack me. Like, what? Why are you so evil? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what? Why are you defending fraud? Do you like money being stolen? No. Then what are you doing? You're a racist. No, I'm not a racist. I'm just telling you what the facts are.
Yeah. So that's what Nick Shirley had to say about the backlash he's getting from the left. So again, go ahead.
Because I think that, like I said, I think that the government is the one that probably, like, I don't have any proof of this, obviously, but I think that someone probably told Nick Fuentes to go out there, right, and make this a thing. I just do not think that this was something organic.
Nick Fuentes?
Yeah.
Nick Shirley. You did. There's a lot of Nicks out there.
Well, because I'm going to bring up a point about Nick. That's why I had Nick Fuentes in my mind. Okay, but I think the government did this, and I think that it's because, like, well, obviously, it's a reporter. His name is Jay Cole, and he's a local Minnesota news reporter. And he did a thing similar to this a year ago, January 25th. He released something very similar, knocking on the same exact idea. He did the exact same thing, and nobody cared. And that lets me know that people knew that this was happening. They were just looking the other way. And now I feel like this is politically, like, useful for them to do this. And I think this is a way, like, this probably goes back to Nick Fuentes. I heard someone take, I think it was Nico, he gave a take, and he was saying that, you have this Nick Shirley, he comes out, he's talking about he's a virgin, he's waiting to marriage, all of this stuff, very similar to Nick Fuentes. And I think that they're trying to give white young people a new leader. I think that they want to get people away from these extremist ideas, so-called extremist ideas, like with people like Nick Fuentes, and they want people to look to Nick Shirley to be like their next leader so he can, take this movement a different type of way. And I think that the death threats obviously are horrible. People shouldn't be threatening him for doing something that is, like, he has the right to do, especially these daycares are being funded by taxpayer dollars. So he definitely have the right to do this. But I definitely think that this is a big psyop. I think that, you have Elon keep tweeting about it. You have, Donald Trump Jr. doing interviews with him. And now he's on PBD podcast. Now he's doing this whole media tour. I don't think this is organic. I'm sorry. I don't. I think that this is very much so another psyop. That's what I think. And I don't think that they thought that, because a lot of people are like, now, like, why are we paying our taxes? Like, voting is not going to help us out of this situation because we've been voting, right? We've been putting the people that saying they're going to do something in the office, and nothing seems to be changing. So I think that yeah, they're leading somewhere. This is the Hegelian dialectic at play. They're giving us a problem reaction, and they're going to have this already manufactured solution that is going to be put forth. But you won't see real accountability. That's what you won't see.
No, absolutely. And you're right on point with that, because Israel just acknowledged Somaliland sovereignty. So they acknowledged Somaliland as an independent state from Somalia, and Somalia had not conquered, but they basically annexed Somaliland, which is like this territory to the north in the Horn of like East Africa, like where Somalia is. It's to the north of that. And Israel just recognized it as its own country. And that happened the day after Christmas. It's like December 22nd or December 26th. So like that just happened. And I don't think it's a coincidence that that happened. And then now we're dealing with the Somali Gate, which is something that needs to be exposed. I'm glad that there's being like national attention going towards it. But just like you said, it's happening now because of that reason, because Israel's plotting on moving in Somaliland in some way, in some form. And the Somalians are completely outraged over this. Like if you watch any of like foreign news that's covering what's going on right now in Somalia, they are pissed because they like fought a civil war over that. Ilhan Omar's father fought in that war, actually committed a genocide against the Somaliland people, which is probably why Israel is trying to, you know, recognize it as its own territory so that it can have like some PR damage control on all the bad media that they've been getting globally on their genocide in Gaza.
Also, Israel, I believe they were building some type of base because I saw something about them wanting to be able to attack Yemen because they're aligned with Iran. So I think that this plays a major role. I heard theories about them trying to, you know, send the Palestinians, you know, to this land. And, you know, so they can take over that whole area in the Middle East.
I didn't
So
see that.
I heard some theories about that too. Like I said, I don't know. I've been like planning to do a real deep dive on this, but I definitely think that, like I said, this is not organic. Our government is very much so complicit, and yeah, as Americans, we can't just talk about it. We have to be brave and do something about it. And I don't care if that comes with in the form of just not paying your taxes. We got to do something. We can't just let this continue to happen.
No, yeah, absolutely. Andre, do you have anything to add?
I'm gonna have to disagree here. You know, I think it's organic. I don't think they're trying to replace Nick because we just watched Nick just give us an interview. He can barely answer a fucking question. He can barely keep his composure and say anything.
Nick Shirley.
Articulate himself. With Nick Shirley. Articulate himself in the same level as Nick. Like I don't think that this is like a psyop within a psyop within a psyop, you know, with more psyops incoming. I think this was organic and this happened. And it's good that it happened. You have some independent journalists come out because I think we're in an age of everyone's skeptical of everything their government does and anything that goes on. So much that they are missing the good that comes from these things that happen. What happened in Minnesota, the exposure of all this fraud is great. It's fantastic. I think it's necessary. I don't think they're going to use Nick Shirley as like he's going to be the one. Because like I said, I don't really care if this guy's a virgin. I find the moment I hear a guy's a virgin, I can't take him seriously anyway. I really just can't take you seriously. And the moment I hear he's a Mormon, definitely not taking you fucking seriously. They're the most retarded people within Christianity.
I'm a Mormon.
You're a Mormon? Oh my goodness.
Born and raised LDS.
Oh my goodness.
Nigga, what the fuck?
Well, you're the best one. You're the best one. I stand on what I believe, though.
I'm kind of like a Jack Mormon, though.
You're like the base Mormon.
I haven't been to church in a while. But
you're not a real Mormon. There you go.
No. I was born and raised Mormon. I went to seminary. I went to UVU. I went to UVU. My mom lives in Orem. That's what I know about the Somalians in Salt Lake.
Hey,
that's how I know there's Somalians in Salt Lake because I got people in Utah. That's like home base for me.
I've never been a fan of Mormons. I'm gonna be honest, but you're like the base Mormon, the excellent base Mormon of all Mormons.
You know, Mormons are base. Mormons are base. Like when you get into their doctrine's a little nutty. We could debate their doctrine.
Yeah, that shit's nutty as fuck. The faith is nutty, but in terms of the family, in terms of their I see the baseness, but I'm like, all right, I'm kind of good. When it comes to America, either want Catholicism to be the predominant religion, or we'll probably settle with, I don't know, we'll do Lutherans maybe, because they're kind of basic.
Lutherans?
Yeah, they're all right. They're all right. I don't know. I want to give the Protestants their room to breathe, right? You know, you
I
Protestants.
thought you were going to say Boston. Are you a Catholic?
I ain't lying Catholic, but no, I'm not Catholic. I'm a terrible Catholic, if anything. So no.
I like the Catholics. You know, I wear Angel Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Catholics. I'm just a fan of theology. I was raised Mormon, like born into the church and raised Mormon. So I know, right? Surprise!
That's crazy.
I know. I'm a woman of color. Like, I'm a woman of color. I'm a Mormon. I'm a Republican.
Queen of the Mormons.
Like, nobody even knows what to do. What to do with me? They're like, how are you also a conservative and a Republican and a Mormon and you're black and you're an immigrant? Well, I'm not an immigrant. I'm an American, but my mother is an immigrant. My father's been here since before my father's family's been here since before the Civil War. So it's interesting that I don't want to turn the show into the La La program or whatever the fuck, but that's how I knew that Somalians were in Salt Lake heavy. Yeah. Because I got people in my home bases in Orem. But back to like Nick Fuentes and the theory that Nick Shirley might be replacing him. I actually thought about that when I was watching the PBD podcast. I saw him answering, and you're right, Andre. He does have kind of
he can't even articulate himself properly. I mean, I don't see this guy being a leader of anything. You know, he does great content. Don't get me wrong. I met him when I was out in Dearborn. He's a cool dude. Real cool dude.
I saw that. I saw that. So you've met him. What is he like? Is he cool?
He's cool. I don't have a problem. I don't like Cam Higbee. Fuck Cam Higbee. He's a pussy.
I don't like him.
Fuck him. But Nick is okay. I don't really have anything negative to say about Nick. When I meet someone in person, my opinion changes because I've met you. I've seen you in person. I like you. You know, if I can sit back and get along with you in person, it's cool. But if we disagree on something, we disagree with something. I really don't give a fuck. But he's all right with me. I don't really have a problem with Nick. But I don't see him being a leader of, like, dude, go get some bitches and then we can talk about leading something.
I don't know. See, I would disagree with you. I think that I see a lot of Charlie in him. And did you know that he and Charlie, he was the last person to be on Charlie's show, and Charlie texted him the night before he died because he was just on his show. And then he's from Utah and he was supposed to be there that day. He was going to live stream the whole thing, but he ended up like not going. He talks about it with PBD, but I saw in him Nick Shirley, like he grows up in Utah in a very sheltered, very Mormon place, and he doesn't have like even the city in Utah, Salt Lake City, is not that hard. It's like very safe. You can walk in the middle of the night. So like his paradigm of like the world is very sheltered. Like the Mormons send you out to do your mission. Like he speaks fluent Spanish because he did his mission in like Chile or whatever.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah. Very intelligent guy. Like, don't get me wrong. Very intelligent individual. Like, I'm not knocking him. I just don't see him as a leader. I see him as a reporter. I see him as someone who can, do something analytical.
Yeah, I think he's a reporter, not a movie.
He's not. Yeah, I saw Sneeko was talking about like they're trying to replace it. Like, shut the fuck up. You're being retarded right now, Sneeko. Like, this is dumb to sit back. You're trying to replace Nick. Honestly, most people like Nick. People have respect for Nick. Nick has come a long way and has gained a lot of respect for people over the last decade.
Which Nick?
However, I'm talking about Nick Fuentes. This idea that Nick Fuentes and Nick Shirley is going to do the swap, it's fucking stupid. I think people are too Jew-pilled. Years ago, it was like a few of us who knew about this and we talked about it and you had to keep it secret. Now that everyone wants to talk about it, everyone flips out. The moment, like when I was at Dearborn with Jake Lang, I get home and people blow on my phone. You were there with a Jew. He's a Jew. And I'm like, what am I supposed to ask him for his ancestry the moment I meet him? Like, what the fuck? He's a cool dude. I talked to him. We're cool. I like him. I found out he's a Jew, but he's on our side, and I can fuck with that. People they do this with people like Larry Finkelstein. Well, I agree with Larry Finkelstein says about Israel, but he's a Jew, so I can't trust him. It's like, dude, you're being retarded. This is the low IQ anti-Semitism, the low IQ racism that we don't like. We don't need that. We want people who are more big brain, people who are, okay, listen, I see race is real, but I'm not going to sit back and demonize this person just because they're Jewish. Because that's the case, and you should just demonize me because I'm black, or demonize us because we're black. Oh, well, they're black, so it doesn't matter if they say anything intelligent. They're still black, and that's fucking retarded. So the people crying about Nick Shirley, instead of focusing on the problem that we're having with the Somalians and how this can actually go into the conversation of talking about Israel and their fraud, this is good. People are not looking in that avenue. We should be using this event to talk about the bigger problem that we have when it comes to Israel, when it comes to all these other countries that are taking money out of China, India. We don't want to take advantage of this situation because we're too, the fog of war is clear as day with a lot of these people. And
go ahead, Carm. Oh.
Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
I totally think that a lot of people are super like red pilled on Israel. I totally think that, but I mean, I think that's naturally what happens when you suppress people for a very long time and they're not able to speak about these things. So naturally, people are going to kind of go crazy with these conspiracies because you've been suppressing them. And then a lot of people don't even know or realize that they were suppressed. And then now that they realize it, they just, like they're being very provocative. But I do think, like I said, there's a space for a new Charlie Kirk, right? There's definitely a space for someone to be the next Charlie Kirk. Now, it might not be Nick Shirley, but they, like I said, the whole machine is behind him, right? I don't trust the left or the right side of our government. So to me, when I see the machine behind anyone and they're agreeing with anyone, I'm like, okay, well, what's to this person? Why do the machine like this person? Because the machine doesn't care about anything but their agendas. And that's what I see, just me personally, because like I said, the machine is complicit in this, right? The machine is the reason, like, even with, like, I just watch how all of this perfectly aligned, they start talking about Somalis and then I'm like, oh my God, look up at Cinnabon. They're calling Somalis niggas. And it's like, shoot, right at the time that Somali fraud is going on, now all of a sudden they're calling Somalis niggas, even though they did the same thing with Shiloh Hendricks, and because the little 5-year-old kid was a Somali, and they called him a nigga. But I do think that, like I said, I think this is very, like, people think our government is not very, very sophisticated. I think they're very sophisticated in the things that they do. I think that they literally, I don't think anything is by accident, right? I don't think these stories get big organically. I don't. I mean, the story probably got big organically, but it also got pushed. Right. And not only did it get pushed, but like I said, it was other reporters that reported on this. You mentioned early, Project Veritas reported on this back in 2020. It's multiple reports on all of this, but no one did anything about it, right? No one took it serious, down to Donald Trump, right? And now everybody, Nick Shirley goes out. Like I said, I don't know if that's something that was organic, if he just woke up one day and was like, you know what, I'm going to go to Minnesota, because that could totally be it. But when it comes to problem, reaction, solution, the problem can be organic or it could be inorganic, but it still doesn't mean that they're going to, use this problem to their benefit for whatever reason that it is. Like you said with Somaliland, it's not a coincidence that all of a sudden this stuff is going on with Somalia and they're like, oh, we're going to, recognize Somaliland right now. Like me, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. I don't believe the Somalis were just not in the media, and now all of this different stuff is just coming out about Somalis. It seems orchestrated. It seems planned. It seems organized, and it seems like they're, like I said earlier, they're being scapegoated. So we don't look at our government. So we don't start to question, well, why are we paying taxes? Well, what is our money going to? Why are we $40 trillion in debt? Because now that there are bigger questions to ask about our country, right? About the people that we elect into office. Do they work for us? Well, we obviously know that they don't, right? So I feel like people have a right to be paranoid. If you're in a relationship and your spouse lie to you all the time, you're gonna be like, no, nigga, you ain't go to the store, you was cheating. That's just who it is. That's for you. It's been cheating. And we don't know. I must be a little Delulu, but something happened here.
Yeah. No, and you're right about the machine wanting to get behind like a young, articulate, good-looking, young white guy that has influence in a platform. Like the machine wants to find that guy, whether it's going to be Kai or whether it's going to be Nick Shirley. They don't want Nick. The Neocon Inc. or Conservative Inc. does not want Nick does not. There's a lot of Nicks. Does not want Nick Fuentes, because Nick Fuentes challenges the power structure that has created a lot of these problems, but they benefit from these problems, like this fraud, this laundering. I wouldn't be surprised if then people were behind that. And Nick has a very like pinpoint way of articulating that and being able to deliver that message to the masses. And when you uncensor him, he blows up like we saw in his generational run last year.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching our video. If you like what you saw there, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can stay updated with our future content. It really helps our channel grow, and we appreciate all the support.